Kia ora and welcome to Little Nuggets with Annie Kennedy. I'm at the bottom of my garden in Roxburgh. This is my very special little meditation spot where I come and just hang out to stop and reflect on how things have been going. So for example, I was just recently sitting here doing some meditation and I was reflecting on a session I had with a group of leaders who I hadn't worked with before, and I noticed things weren't going as well as I expected. There was a little bit of hesitation, the responses weren't there that I was anticipating that I would be having, and I started to doubt myself and I started to go into my own head and I started to notice my inner critic, and we kind of have these themes of the types of voices, stories that we tell ourselves, and one of mine is the I'm not good enough story, and I started to become aware that my I'm not good enough story was starting to surface and potentially derail me from me being at my best. So as soon as I noticed that, I took a moment to ground myself. I planted my feet on the ground in a conscious way, if you know what I mean, and took a breath and took a long exhale to activate my relaxed response. Not in obvious ways that they're going to notice I'm still standing at the front of the room facilitating, but in that moment I just took a time to develop a presence and groundedness that brings me back to becoming more aware of not just stuck in my own stories, but noticing what's happening with the rest of the room. And in that ability to start to tune in again to where the rest of the room was at, becoming aware that actually there was a little bit of fear sitting there, perhaps a lack of familiarity and security in the room. So that drove me to take a different tack, and it was a little gamble to try something that wasn't planned that paid off. And I think it reminds me actually of the work of Dr. Shelley Spiller, and if you haven't seen her book Wayfinding Leadership, recommend to have a look at it. And she references the great navigators, the walkers in the Pacific. The ones that the wise navigators are the ones that amongst the chaos of the storm are able to find their stillness, and in the stillness see the signals. There might be the parting in the cloud, that a little bit of the moon pokes through, or maybe there's a particular fish or a bird suddenly spotted. But in the ability to notice those signals has provided a clarity for the direction that we need to go. So this is where I train my brain to pay attention and to be able to find the stillness when I need to. What about for yourselves? What are you aware of doing to train yourselves to perhaps be able to, in the moment, pause and ground yourself? Oh my gosh, can you hear the trucks going past? Definitely not part of my meditation plan today. Very noisy. Anyway, interested in your thoughts. What do you do to be still? And hope you're keeping warm if you're down south like me. Take care. Mā te wā.